What's up, Gym Crew? Gemini Johnny back again with another members-only edition of some of the creepiest, weirdest, and most unexplained TikToks I can find. If you're not a member of the channel and you're watching this video, then thanks for catching the premiere. I appreciate you. And if you're not watching the premiere, then thanks for being a member. I appreciate you too. Don't forget to join me every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday at 4:15 for a brand new video or a live stream, whatever I'm feeling like that day. I guess that's all I got. So without further ado, let's jump right in.
They were all sleeping together when a ghost took possession of his girlfriend.
What? Why are they all sleeping together like that? She just wanted to be in the middle. Is that when her boyfriend, I hope? Well, I sure hope that one was her boyfriend. It's gonna be an awkward breakfast if not.
These two young people get together to do strange things, but soon regret it.
Seems a little strange that there's a camera right here. There's a parkour Peek and Tom. You can. Why'd Tom get that name, by the way? Peek and Tom? Why not Peek and Paul? So I was curious and I looked up where the term peeping Tom comes from. I could have guessed for the next, I don't know, 5 years. Just sat here and took wild guesses, and this would not have been what I thought. The origin of the phrase peeping Tom. The name comes from the legend of Lady Godiva's naked ride through the streets of Coventry in order to persuade her husband to alleviate the harsh taxes on the town's poor. The story goes that the townsfolk agreed not to observe Godiva as she passed by, but that Peeping Tom broke that trust and spied on her. It was not like some guy named Tom was just going around looking in people's houses and watching them get naked. He was just watching a naked woman ride a horse through town. No big deal.
Reddit user Salty Devushka lives on a military base that she believes is haunted. The house that she lives in, which is on this military complex, is rife with paranormal activity. And ever since moving in, she's been feeling very unsettled. Now, for some reason, the bathroom of this house has had the most activity. According to her, there's something about this bathroom that creeps her out. One night, while being in her bedroom, she heard a strange noise coming from inside. When she checked out the noise, she found the dustpan inside the bathroom on the floor. Someone or something had knocked it over. This odd occurrence would randomly continue throughout the days. But then one night, in an attempt to capture this strange occurrence, she records the following on camera.
Not sure if it's gonna happen again, but I guess we can just wait. Hey Moo, come here, buddy. Oh, and just in case. Oh, wrong light. So many light switches here. No strings. If I could keep my hands, in sight. Both hands here. Right. They're right there. All right, buddy. It happened again, and there's absolutely no one in the fucking bathroom. I don't know what else to think.
Although pretty strange, it's the following night that has left her the most spooked. Devushka had recorded the following and captured this.
Just keeps falling. said there's absolutely
Dog don't seem to care. Why you got a dustpan in your bathroom?
Based on this footage, could it be that Devushka had caught video of something paranormal? Or might there be some logical explanation for this? As always, what are your thoughts?
Well, I could be wrong, but that dog didn't react to that at all. Almost like that dog had seen that thing fall over about 10 times prior to her filming that. And usually dogs, like, they growl and their hair stands on end, their tail tucks between their legs, they get behind you and hide. We've seen 100 videos of dogs doing this stuff when weird stuff is happening in their house. And I trust dogs way more than I trust people, so.
Explaining disturbing videos. One man, one jar. Viewer discretion is advised.
You don't know it?
The video starts with a jar on the floor, and then a couple seconds later, the man starts to sit in the jar, and he proceeds to put the jar in he slowly sit down until the jar starts to shatter inside.
Dude.
You can see a lot of blood in the video, and then the video cuts. The video isn't really that bad like the other, but it is still disturbing. I highly don't recommend watching the video because it's disgusting, and I'm not telling where you can watch it. And stay safe out there.
Ooh, yeah, that one scarred me and will never be able to leave my brain, unfortunately. Yeah, I don't know what was with all the, like, shock, gore stuff, like videos that was popular back in the day. Like the 2 Girls 1 Cup, which was fake, by the way. The 1 Man 1 Jar, Pain Olympics, all those. Why was that a thing? Why were people recording themselves doing this stuff? It is funny that that video said that is not going to show you where to find the video, as if you can't just Google 1 Man 1 Jar and find the first link that pops up.
Whatever you do, never go searching for this video. These 5 friends were forced to kill each other by the Mexican cartel. These 5 young, aged from 19 to 22, were looking for some sort of employment, and they were promised a high-paying job at a call center. But when the alleged contact was taking them to meet the people for the job, it actually turned out to be a whole scheme to recruit them to the Mexican cartel. And when all 5 of these boys said they didn't want to join, the cartel then said okay and tied them up, taped their mouth and took a picture, and then recorded one of the friends killing all the other 4 friends. And after that, they put the 5th one, who just killed all of his friends, into a car and set it on fire. I am telling you right now, do not go searching for this video because you will find it. And trust me, you do not want to see something like this. This case is absolutely horrific, and the fact that this happens way more often than we think is just extremely scary and disturbing. It's just sad that these young men were just trying to get a job and make some money for themselves, but instead it turned into a living nightmare. Rest in peace, these 5 young men.
Oh, that's so sad. Yeah, another one. I don't know why we're getting these back to back, but yeah, it's another one of those, like, horrible videos you should never let yourself watch. Reminds me of the Funky Town video, which is another one. Like, I know I'm listing all these off for you guys. I don't recommend watching any of them, but, you know, if you feel like scarring your brain, then by all means. I learned my lesson a long time ago. If somebody warns you not to look at something on the internet, don't let curiosity get the better of you. You just take their advice. Be like, okay, thank you, and move on with your life and forget that that ever happened.
He is now in hell for eternity as a traitor to his country. It is said that those who commit treason and betray others occupy the lowest pits of hell for all time. The federal government of America declared war on America's citizens and the American state.
Seconds earlier in the video I just showed you, this man, Justin Moan, holds his father's severed head wrapped up in plastic and shows it to the camera.
Jeez.
That's right, Justin had murdered his father, decapitated him, and was proudly displaying his dad's severed head to the internet. So all of this is coming to light literally this week. This all went down this week. Justin Moan is 32 years old. He's from Pennsylvania. So on Tuesday of this week, Justin's mother at around 7 p.m. discovered the headless body of her husband. This man, Michael Moan, Justin's father. Apparently, Justin was extremely upset because his father was an employee of the federal government. But although we don't know exactly what led up to the murder, we do know that Justin recorded that video where he was holding his father's severed head and then posted it on YouTube. In the YouTube video, which was quickly taken down, called Moan's Militia, he calls for the death of all federal officials of Joe Biden. He slams against Black Lives Matter, LGBTQ rights,
All right.
and Antifa activists, and he states that he hopes this will send a message.
Yeah, they had us the first half, I'm not gonna lie.
After Justin's mother
Antifa
discovered his
activists.
father's headless corpse inside of the home, the police knew they had to find Justin. When they found Justin, he was over 100 miles away from the scene of the crime. He had hopped over a gate and was trespassing on a military base. And when they found Justin, he had a loaded weapon on him, although he was arrested without incident, so only God knows what else he was planning on doing. This is just a horrific, sad case. I do not encourage anybody to go look up that footage online. It's truly disgusting and just horrific. And rest in peace, obviously, to Michael Moan.
That was from back in like February, so that's, been 4 or 5 months ago now that happened. But man, that's crazy. I didn't hear about that. That's really, really sad. And I don't know why this is such a dark episode, but sometimes that's how the cookie crumbles. But it is funny when people say like, he's a member of Antifa, when like being Antifa is just a state of mind. It's not an organization. So I don't know. And do people that are against, like, shouldn't we all be Antifa? Like, I'm pretty anti-fascism. So if you're like anti-Antifa, that means you're anti-fascism. And I'm no mathematician, but I think that means you're into fascism. Skinwalker disguised as a dog. So creepy. Who's going to tell him that this is no longer his dog? He just wants a stick. If you don't throw that damn stick for him, I will come find you. Bruh, I wasn't a skinwalker, I was just a good boy. YouTubers that accidentally recorded a live Murd 3R.
I will be showing the video, but nonetheless, hi, my name is Ethan, and here's everything you need to know in under 1 minute. In September of 2017, 31-year-old Laura Wallen vanished into thin air. Her boyfriend Tyler Tessier had played the part of the worried boyfriend desperate for answers. However, he was living a double life. He had a fiance, and he feared that Laura would expose her pregnancy. The night of her unaliving, Laura texted her friend and stated, "Tyler has taken me to an open field in Damascus. I'm not sure why we're here, but it's in the middle of nowhere." Her body was found a few days later. Sam and Colby eventually uploaded a video where they were in the same area at the same time, and they captured a woman begging for help. Here's the video.
Oh, we've seen this.
Somebody screaming.
Someone screamed bloody murder.
Guys, what the do you hear that?
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, definitely horrifying. Hope that's never me. Hope I never have to be involved in anything like that. That being said, I want to go stomp around in some dark woods and do creepy stuff. Sounds like a good time. Minus the, unalived woman part. And by the way, when you hear, content creators and YouTubers and stuff using that term, we don't want to use it. We'd rather just say the regular word. But we automatically get flagged if we use it. So, we hate it too. I don't know. Thought I'd put that out there.
In July of 2007, WJLA, a TV station in Washington, D.C., was abruptly interrupted from its regular programming. Everything was going as usual, when all of a sudden the screen went black, and without warning, this image appeared on viewers' TVs. A close-up, grainy, black and white photo of two human heads, one smiling, one not. Viewers watching live were confused and honestly creeped out. The image was unsettling, to say the least. It stayed on screen for several seconds with no movement and no sound, just the image, before abruptly disappearing and returning to the station's regular programming. Many viewers called the station and made posts online trying to get answers. In response, the cable company ended up releasing an official statement on the incident. They claimed the image was a still frame from an advertisement for the Oprah Winfrey Show that was scheduled to play later on. Basically, they reasoned that their system somehow glitched in showing the still frame. This explanation left people skeptical. Many searched but found no Oprah Winfrey advertisement showing anything resembling the still frame. It's widely believed the explanation was a cover-up for a successful hijacking of the station. Although, if this is the case, whoever's responsible for it is not identified. Viewers that had footage of the incident found that after posting them online, they were mysteriously getting taken down. There are no surviving videos left on the internet today, and so footage of the incident is now being treated as lost media. The only remaining evidence is this picture of the still frame that was shown. It's January 3rd, 2007. The Australian broadcast channel Channel 7 is broadcasting a rerun of an episode of the Canadian television documentary Mayday. At one point during the documentary, the audio suddenly cuts out and is eerily replaced with constant looping of a man yelling the words, "Jesus Christ, help us all, Lord." The visuals remain unchanged, it was only the audio that was affected. One viewer witnessing this pulled out his camera and began recording the strange audio.
Jesus Christ, help us all, Lord. 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 Jesus.
This would go on for over 5 minutes before returning back to the documentary's original sound. The viewer wrote, "I was channel surfing and heard this weird sound being repeated. It caught my attention as it was very odd, a bit creepy. I thought it was some kind of subliminal message, or that someone must have hacked in. I tried ringing the station for several minutes, but they never picked up." After gathering enough attention, a spokesperson for the network would make a statement. He denied the transmission being a prank or security breach, and actually claimed that the repeated line was a part of the original broadcast. He further stated that the audio actually said, "Jesus Christ, one of the Nazarenes." However, there's almost no similarity between the two phrases. People took this statement almost as a joke, considering how absurd it was. It's believed the station's audio was temporarily hijacked, and the network didn't want to admit to it. A few independent researchers began an investigation on where the original audio came from, and surprisingly, it was actually found. It turns out the audio came from the haunting video of Preston Wheeler reacting to an ambush on his convoy in Iraq.
Jesus Christ, help us all, Lord.
This attack occurred after the convoy had made a wrong turn down a dead-end street, though Preston was fortunate enough to make it out alive. The finding of this video seemed to raise only more questions, like the reason behind why the hijacker chose to use this audio. No further information would ever be discovered. The whole situation kinda just slowly died down with no real answers. The hijacker responsible was never identified.
Dang, that's crazy. Why do people do this?
On August 19, 1987, during the 4 p.m. edition of KNBC's Channel 4 News, reporter David Horowitz was interrupted by an unidentified man walking into the studio. The man appears in frame armed and hands David a set of papers. He instructs him to read them, and without another option, David calmly does what he's told.
Pardon me?
Yeah, please take
What is this?
Yeah, he's got a gun. Hold up.
Let me see what it says. All right.
He's got a gun to his back.
All right, well, let me read this. Folks, we have someone on the set who's standing here and would like me to read this copy which was just handed to me. You want to tell me your name or not? What is it? And Gary, where are you from?
The video was then taken off the air and replaced with a still screen. But thousands of people had already witnessed it live, and police were immediately flooded with calls from viewers. Monitors in the studio clearly indicated they were no longer on the air, but the reporters desperately tried to convince the man he was still on. He believed them and continued to let David read.
I was warned in 1981 by someone with connections at the CIA to stay off the computers, that they didn't trust people on computers. When I began receiving disturbing calls from my parents, which led me to believe that something terrible was going on, I was then forced into a mental hospital in Tallahassee, where I learned that my brother-in-law had been driven insane in the same manner that someone was trying to do to me.
After minutes of this, David finally finishes reading the statement, at which point the man sets down his weapon, and it's revealed that it was only ever an empty BB gun. Police entered the studio and immediately arrested the guy. He was Gary Stolman. He managed to get in the studio as a guest to an employee. His father, Max Stolman, would sometimes work for KMBC as a reporter. Once inside, Gary waited for the channel to go live before walking into frame. Now, written on the paper Gary wanted read, it turned out to be a nonsense statement on the CIA, alien life, and other conspiracy-type stuff. One of the sections read, "The man who has appeared on KMBC for the past 3 years is not my biological father. He is a clone, a double created by the Central Intelligence Agency and alien forces. It is only a small part of a greater plot to overthrow the United States government and possibly the human race itself." Gary was sent to a county jail as he awaited trial. He was found mentally ill and was arranged to get the help he needed. His father later made a statement on the incident, reading, "I do have a sick son. He has been hospitalized a number of times. I'm just thankful he wasn't shot."
Yeah, that was crazy. I think we saw that in one of my early videos. And I remember thinking my first thought was like, well, what if that guy actually knew some stuff and he was onto something? Now they're coming out with aliens and everything. Maybe if all the other stuff is true too. And then I read the rest of the letter and I was like, all right, maybe not. Oh, the best.
This second incident lasted longer at about 90 seconds. This is because no engineers were on duty at the time, meaning no one was there to quickly switch to a backup frequency. The motive behind the interruption is unknown, as there isn't really ever one clearly established, even with audio. Many suggest the man was simply rambling on, saying any nonsense sentence that came to mind. However, others think differently. The man mentions Chuck Swirsky, who was a TV reporter employed by WGN. At one point, the man also begins humming the tune to Clutch Cargo, a cartoon that aired on WGN. He followed this with, "I Still See the X." This is possibly a reference to the last episode of Clutch Cargo aired on WGN, titled Big X.
Oh, I just made a giant masterpiece for all the greatest world newspaper nerds.
Additionally, the man mentions how he made a giant masterpiece for all the greatest world newspaper nerds. He likely meant World's Greatest Newspaper, or WGN, the first station that was hijacked. Perhaps he felt wronged by the station in some way, and the hijacking was deliberately created for and against WGN. Or maybe everything he said was all nonsense. Whatever the case, the FBI immediately started an investigation, confident they would be able to find whoever was responsible for the interference.
But the odds, I'd say, if a guy continues to involve himself, either sporadically or continuously, it's very great that we will determine who it is.
Months, years, and now even decades have passed with no sign of who's behind the Max Headroom mask. All we know for sure is what's shown in the video. At least 3 people were involved, one under the mask, one behind the camera, which can be proven from a slight shift in the camera's angle at one point, and one rotating the background, which is shown stopping when they step into frame themselves. Also known is that the video was not recorded live, rather it was pre-recorded. This is proven with the visible cut in the video. To this day, it remains unknown who hijacked the 2 TV stations. No one has ever been charged.
That was the only good one. All the rest were lame. Max Headroom was tight. Because it was so nonsensical. There was no reason. There was no rhyme or reason. I'm sure somebody at WGN knows exactly who did that. If that one always, I remember the first time I saw the video, and I always thought that one felt really personal. That one felt like he was some guy, probably some engineer that they fired for no reason. And then he was like, oh, you want to fire me? All right, I got you. Yeah, I love Max Headroom. I want that mask. Sure, it's out there. Sure, you can get a Max Headroom mask, right? 1980s vintage Max Headroom mask sold on eBay 20 days ago. If anybody out there knows where to get their hands on a Max Headroom mask, let me know. I just did about 10 minutes of hard research, and I can't even find one. So I wouldn't say hard research, or 10 minutes, actually. About 30 seconds of passive research.
I'm going to show you this really disturbing behind the scenes iCarly clip where Dan Schneider's walking up to the cast members, getting really close up in their face with a camera. And you can see the visible distraught and uncomfortableness in every single person's face. Here, just watch.
They
that time, but still, you know, keep the attitude a little more where we were when you turned to him for the, well, I still, you brighten it up a little bit. Okay, well, I still thought it straight, and then stop the more.
Stop laughing at the director. Show some respect, Jeanette. Respect. No smiling. If you, all right.
Take $100 off your check.
Don't stare at me like that.
Look at his face. He looks like he wants to absolutely attack Dan Schneider at this point. And if you also notice, Jeanette McCurdy basically is like backing up from him as he continues to record. It's just creepy, creepy stuff. There's tons of this online right now.
Take a look at her, and then you've seen that face before. Here we go, all right?
Here we go. All right.
But no, it's just the oh man. But
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was going to say, oh, man, here we go. All right.
Don't do that.
Okay.
That'd be bad.
What's with boots? Why is Carly?
I don't know. I'm always ready
Yeah.
so she can be in combat at any moment.
You can feel the physical discomfort in this video. Like, it's super strange. And remember, these are kids. They're used to being on camera. It's just the fact that Dan is there being a weirdo.
And I was just about to say, I think that's a stretch. I think they're just, you know, they know that he probably shouldn't have a camera in their face right then when they were trying to work, and they were a little nervous and felt awkward. But then he did that pan down to her. What the hell was that? I don't think so. Bro, you didn't, there was zero reason for you to do that. Ugh, it made me feel weird for what you did. Is anything happening to Dan Schneider? We got all these people coming out saying they lived through all this horrific crap with him, and he just does an interview on E and says, "I'm very sorry," and that's it? Bro, my baseball bats were invented.
Let's talk about one of the most disturbing videos out on the internet right now. Brazilian woman bank video. Now before I show you a bit of the video, let's break it down a little bit. Now the video was first released by TV Globo, a Brazilian TV network. But now the video has been circulating here on TikTok for its very intense backstory and imagery. In the video, you see this woman wheeling in an unresponsive older man. You see her trying to force a pen in his hand, trying to make him sign this, which was a document that was going to allow her to take out a $3,400 loan. And the bank worker obviously notices that the man is not responding. He's not moving, he's not breathing. That's when they call the cops. They find out that this man is 68-year-old Paulo Roberto Braga. He was actually unalive for a couple hours before this woman wheeled him into this bank. I'm gonna show you a bit of the video, but obviously with some things blurred out. Here it is. Now, thankfully, this woman was arrested and could now face charges of theft through fraud, embezzlement, and abuse of. And all this happened in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. I honestly just can't believe that this is a world that we live in.
Money, what a good system. It's Britney, bitch. Why her eyes do that? Ew. I don't know if it's fake or not, but it's definitely creepy. Who's that? Oh. Oh, about that one. I didn't see hers do anything. Oh. And that in between the two quick blinks. That was weird. Maybe they are all shape-shifting aliens. That's why I'm not one of them. But I'm not gonna lie, if I could make my eyes do that, I'd be doing it all the time just to mess with people.
Now, NASA recently discovered something called X points around Earth and also around the sun. These are naturally occurring portals that open and close every single day all around the outside of our planet. The Themis satellite system discovered these portals a few years back, and they've been analyzing and watching them. Some of them create direct pathways to the sun and even to other planets in our solar system. So these are called X points. They exist all around the outside of our planet. They're where magnetic diffusion points hit and cross, like our magnetic fields hit and cross. In some way, combining that crossing of electromagnetic fields with charged particles from the sun opens up a portal.
Let me tell you something about that man. That man's name is Billy Carson. And I only came to know of his existence maybe 3-4 months ago from doing videos for this channel. And I think I first found him when he was talking about religion and stuff, like the Book of Enoch or something. But over time, I've seen him talk more and more about some wild stuff. And every once in a while, I see some stuff to be like, he kind of sounds like he might be full of it. But he just did like a 2.5, 3 hour podcast on Flagrant with Andrew Schultz. And he was saying some stuff, man. If even half of the stuff that he was saying is true, it's about to get even weirder than I've ever thought. But he does seem incredibly intelligent. And there were a few things that I did look up as he was talking about them in that podcast. And I can't find where he's lying in any of the stuff that he's saying. So go check that out. He's done a lot of research. And yeah, honestly, like now that I'm thinking about it, he could be a CIA plant, like a dark agent government plant or whatever. But this is not a conspiracy episode, so we're not going to get into that. But I like him. So yeah, Billy Carson. Go check his stuff out. He's at the number Forbidden Knowledge is like his brand and website and stuff. So you can go check that out. But there you have it, Gem Crew. That is another compilation of the weirdest, creepiest, and most unexplained TikToks I can find. If you enjoy this kind of content, be sure and check out my other playlist. It's got all my old reaction videos on there. So you can go check those out if you want. Don't forget to join me every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday for a brand new video, and every Sunday for a live stream, all at 4:15 p.m. PST. Merch shop is live, so you can check that out. It's right down there. You just click the thing down below, and then you click the thing you like, and then you click it again, and then do a couple more clicks. And then they'll make you the thing, and then they'll send me money. So that's cool. Well, I think that's all the housekeeping out of the way. So until next time, stay creepy.